Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. Today we are discussing what?
I think we should discuss Publishers Marketplace.
Threw you for a loop there, right? I made you do the deciding.
I was thinking. I could have thrown it right back at you.
Yeah, I'm glad you did it. Okay, Publishers Marketplace.
Yeah, so Publishers Marketplace is probably one of the primary resources for publishing news for the publishing business, which includes authors.
Yeah.
So in addition to a daily, weekly newsletter that is actually news that's happening in publishing, they have probably the most comprehensive deal report in the business.
Yes.
And I think what authors are most seemingly interested is the deal report.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah. And however, I think that for $20 a month, I think it is, it's an invaluable resource for a lot of other reasons. But we got a question through the blog in my call for questions about Publishers Marketplace, and very specifically why some agents and some deals don't get reported.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is. And I think that there's a lot that goes into the reporting of the deals. There's a lot of nuances there that authors may not be aware of. In fact, many may not have been aware of until now that not all agents report.
Right.
And of course, there's a lot of reasons why somebody does or doesn't report, besides the fact that reporting is a nice humble brag.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and for us, it's like our resume.
Yeah. Yep. And it can be how authors find us.
And for authors, it's that moment that they're all waiting for. They just want to tell everybody they wrote a book and someone's going to publish it and you're going to read it and read this for the meantime. Like,
exactly.
It's their announcement. It's like their, Yeah,
you'll see a lot of times on Twitter or other social media the screenshot of the deal report that authors love to post. It's
famous because it was like this big article one time about how the dreaded, I think it was a really big article, but it was about the
screenshot
that always crops up after somebody makes a deal. So.
Right. And then there are more practical reasons for reporting a deal, which could be, building attention for the book for subrights, maybe film or foreign or audio or large print or any other rights possible. There's building attention for it. There's building attention and excitement for a book for booksellers and librarians and things like that. So there is definitely a more practical reason why deals can be reported and how they're reported.
Exactly.
So I guess we should maybe tackle first why, given all the positives that we just talked about, some people may not report deals.
I don't know.
I mean, I just think that for some agents, it's another thing to deal with. And
I mean, when I close a deal and it's finally ready to announce, I want to announce it just as much as the author. So for me, I'm like, I don't know.
But there are some agencies that have a policy they don't.
Right.
They like their deals to not necessarily be attached to an individual's name, maybe an agent's name in general. Or they like to really control the conversation around the book as much as possible and leave that to the publisher, and they don't do a lot of reporting.
Yeah, especially if something's like groundbreaking. I can see holding on to it until it actually starts to, cover and all of that stuff is ready.
Yeah, or they don't want the idea stolen.
Yeah.
If it's a new and original idea, whether fiction or nonfiction. So there could be a lot of reasons.
Right.
I guess I'm not going to
A lot of bigger authors, they don't always announce more books. Like, I don't think Stephen King gets announced on Publishers Marketplace. People like him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they just do their books.
Yeah.
And then what's announced is the release of the book, which is because a lot of times when a deal is made, it could be sometimes even years, but definitely a year or so before the book is published. And a lot of people want to be able to control that the conversation doesn't really start until the book is available for sale or pre-sale.
Right, especially for an author who might sign a multi-book deal.
Yes.
And if they're all standalone, sometimes you don't drive the same amount of buzz if there's 7 books that are unannounced.
Right.
Well, untitled or not developed yet. So holding that, and that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons for that. So given that a lot of agents don't report any deals or may limit what deals they report.
Or just behind on reporting them.
Yeah.
That happens too. Because especially in Kidlit, we report, most Kidlit deals get reported to Publishers Weekly. And they do their children's bookshelf email that gets rounded up every Tuesday and Thursday. So after we get it there, we've got to go and put it on Publishers Marketplace because it should come out on Publishers Weekly before Publishers Marketplace.
Yeah.
So they get backed up. Sometimes you don't always do it.
Well, and for picture books, you don't report the deal until the illustrator is signed on. So if you sell a book today, it could be 3-4 months before the illustrator is signed on.
I mean, I sold the book last November that's still not announced.
Yeah, so that could be a piece of it. There could also be a piece of making as many deals as possible before the report. So making as many rights deals to foreign countries and things like that. So I think we digressed on that a little bit. But so when you're researching agents on Publishers Marketplace, it's important to be aware that this isn't
exhaustive.
The totality of anybody's list, because even though we do report deals, we don't necessarily report all of our deals.
Right.
Or there could be a huge delay of when we're reporting.
Yeah, and I don't always think that the deals that we are announcing should be indicative of what we're looking for right now. Because like you said, there's that delay, and there's also, I mean, maybe you just had a client that's working on that book, and that's not what you're really looking for, but this client worked on it, and you sold it.
Right. That being said, we use Publishers Marketplace.
For sure.
When we're trying to get a feel for editors. And certainly you can use it when you're trying to get a feel for agents. You know, if you notice an agent, for example, is selling a great deal of Christian books, then you can probably surmise that that is an agent who is looking for Christian fiction or something like that.
And it's also a good way to gauge success in what they do. Like,
as long as they report.
Right.
You know, I think you can get a sense of who somebody is, what their personal interest is when you take a look at a number of deals. You know, are they somebody who does a lot of books with dogs in it? Well, then they're probably a dog lover. Like that kind of sense. So it's one piece of your process when you're researching agents. But it also gives you a sense of the types of books that are selling a little bit. You know,
because it's daily.
It is daily. And so if you're suddenly seeing a lot of, let's say, World War II set historicals, then you can probably surmise that there's a lot of World War II interest right now. Yeah. I would probably not now start on your World War II historical thinking, oh, look, it's a hot thing.
Because that's the tricky part about trends. That happens a lot. Like every conference we go to, like there's a panel on trends and stuff like that. But they're not easy to predict. And when you think you are hopping on board, it's never...
Well, by the time you finish the book, a year
that
from now, that trend could very possibly be over. So that's something to consider if you are debating between two different books and you see one idea seems to be really trending. You might want to consider, well, will it still be trending when I finish the book? Do I want to take that chance? I don't necessarily have an easy answer for you. I wouldn't chase trends, but it might give you some perspective that if later you're getting a lot of rejections of, we're seeing a lot of this, you know why.
Yeah, and it's so hard to predict anything. It's almost like every book is a lightning in a bottle situation.
I really recommend that if you can subscribe to Publishers Marketplace, you do it. They do have free versions, so you can get a taste of what they have. I think it's an invaluable website
for sure
for anybody who is looking to get into publishing as a business, and that includes authors, of course.
Yeah.